Wait. I'm sorry. I was enjoying the wrestling news here. Freebirds on the front of that. Good story inside the wrestling magazine. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. This is the Tuesdays Wrestling Talk, and you caught me reading the wrestling magazine, Fabulous Freebirds, on the front of that. Jack, welcome. Rodney, welcome, and welcome you, the insiders, to Pro Wrestling Inside Now. Let's start this discussion off on Nature Boy Ric Flair and Blackjack Mulligan. And the reason we're going to talk about them together is we had a picture, a photograph we posted on Facebook, and it was this photograph right here. Now, Rodney, before we started the program today, you had some comments about this photograph.
Yeah, I was just noticing it was Flair and his T-shirt standing there with obviously his spit cup, and then of course Blackjack Mulligan has a picture of himself. He said, I guess he might be going to present it to somebody. Maybe somebody presented it to him. Maybe he didn't know what he looked like, so they gave him a picture of himself. And so that if he said, "Well, who is this guy?" and he said, "Well, that's you," and he said, "Well, let me take a closer look," and apparently it was, and that's him.
I noticed something about this photograph is people's not even paying attention to them during this. Jack, have you noticed this?
Yeah, but they probably waited till the matches started and they kind of slept out to see what was going on in the ring.
Ric Flair. Let's talk about his time when he in Charlotte. Ric Flair, by the time he became the Nature Boy, he was one over wrestler in the Mid-Atlantic territory. This was during the times Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. I guess at the time, Ric Flair, I believe, had to be, I'm pretty sure he wasn't a heel at this point. He had to be a babyface. I think Blackjack Mulligan was. Some great times in the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Jack?
Oh, yeah. Some of the best wrestling you'll ever see during this time period. I was able to see part of this. I lived in Savannah, Georgia for almost 2 years. And so I got to experience Mid-Atlantic wrestling. I remember seeing the first show that Tony Schiavone was on from there. So yeah, it's great stuff.
That one in black and white?
Well, the whole world was black and white back in those days.
I believe this was probably the time. Now, I could be wrong about this, but this looks like the time maybe when Ric Flair was having a feud with Greg Valentine. Some great matches. If you go back and look at on YouTube, there's a lot of great matches with Greg the Hammer Valentine and Ric Flair. Ric Flair stayed there. How long did he wrestle for Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling? Around 10 years?
Well, for Jimmy Crockett, since 74 was the first year, if I believe it was there from 74. So from 74 on, I think he got booked out other places, but primarily he worked for Jimmy Crockett.
Yeah, that was home.
Ric Flair, I remember when he was working for Mid-Atlantic in 1977? Was that the first time that we saw him in Atlanta?
I believe so. And we came in as the United States heavyweight champion and was going to get Thunderbolt Patterson.
He got over.
Yes.
One interview, he got over in Georgia.
And they brought in they had the women, the models they would bring in for Flair with him, and they set the stage, and of course Flair already had the robes, and looked the part, and he played the part of the United States champion perfectly, and I remember him working against Thunderbolt Patterson, and that was pretty good.
Jack, if you was to look at Ric Flair's career, what match stands out when you're talking to Ric Flair?
It's hard to pick just one, but I would say the second time that he became world's champion against Harley Race. What was the name of that pay-per-view?
Flair for the Gold?
Yeah, Flair for the Gold. It was in a cage and probably just a highlight match to me. I mean, I still go back from time to time and watch it, and I've probably seen it 50 times. It was just that good.
Rodney, if you was to look at a Ric Flair match, which match stands out?
Well, to me, it's the whole package between he and Rick Steamboat. That what made him a superstar. That what made Ricky Steamboat a superstar. To me, that stands out more than even his world title reign. Was Flair and Steamboat.
Oh, you're talking about his original feud with him, not the one he had later on in 1980. Was it 1989?
Yeah,
they had a couple of matches.
That is correct. That one I don't even remember.
Well, I've heard him and Ricky both talk about their first run back in the 70s. Neither one of them were very satisfied with it. They just didn't think they had good chemistry back then. But, they were both still in that learning process and becoming who they were as wrestlers. So by the time that the 90s the late 80s rolled around, they were firmly in grasp of who they were and comfortable with each other. And, man, they put on some dynamite matches.
Let me see if I can pull this picture up. It was actually from a program that we did in Continental Championship Wrestling. I don't know how well it's going to be because the printers didn't do a good job on printing this program, but we're going to look at this anyway and see if it comes up and looks good. World Heavyweight Championship match, Ric Flair against the Bullet. As you see, Ric Flair has the new World Heavyweight Championship belt going against the Bullet. I noticed this is during two different matches, but look at Ron West's in that bottom picture. He looked shell-shocked during this when the top rope, which Ric Flair did, I believe, 1,000,003 times during his career, got slammed off the top rope. Let's talk a little bit about Blackjack Mulligan. Rodney, what do you remember of Blackjack Mulligan?
Blackjack Mulligan, he and Blackjack Lanza, great tag team. Bobby Heenan, the manager, that set the stage for everything. Through Indianapolis, the Midwest, the Blackjacks were a big team, and, of course, managed by Bobby Heenan. Later on, he would come to Georgia as the United States heavyweight champion by himself, Blackjack Mulligan, of course, again, facing Thunderbolt Patterson, I remember. And then later on, he becomes one of the great heroes of wrestling throughout the Carolinas and Florida. I don't remember anything he did bad, actually. He was a big, big man, impressive, able to do the interview, and he could bring it any time. But it all started with he and Blackjack Lanza and Bobby Heenan.
Yes, we've posted some pictures on Facebook of actually his first year in the wrestling business. You can go back and try to find that on our archives on Facebook. Blackjack Mulligan.
I never got to see Blackjack live. I always wanted to. I always heard about him. We became friends on Facebook and talked back and forth by Messenger several times over the last few years of his life. He became a favorite person to me. I remember talking with Bill Eadie and asked him what was his favorite matches in that area. And he said working with Blackjack was tremendous. And he said that Boris Malenko was his manager. And he said they did, I think, 3 or 4 months through the heat of the summer. They did a lot of outdoor shows then. And he said every match was a 1-hour time limit. And he said that by the time they were done, he said, I don't know what Blackjack did. He said, but when I got out of that ring, he said, Boris Malenko had my stuff ready. All I had to do was step in the shower, get dressed, and he had a case of beer in the back of the car. He said, I needed to rehydrate. But he said, working with Blackjack Mulligan, he says, probably one of the most favorite times of his life. So that speaks highly.
And some of those matches are on YouTube. Check them out. And for me, I'm watching the crowd. The crowd the superstar gets the Cobra hold on Blackjack Mulligan. He comes up to try to do his counter with the claw, and as he pulls that hand back, that crowd just gets louder and louder. And then he finally puts it on. That place explodes, and they had the right chemistry. They had the right. Yeah. They had the right formula in the Carolinas at the time.
Yep.
No doubt about it. This is the same time of Flair and Steamboat and Youngblood all there at the same time. It was an awesome time for them.
Well, we're going to talk more about Blackjack Mulligan and Ric Flair throughout the year, throughout 2021, no doubt. They were two of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time. By the way, folks who are watching Raw, I guess you watched Raw. I think Ric Flair was on there Monday night. Was that any good, Jack?
I just kind of fast forwarded when I went back and watched. He went out with Charlotte, and I forgot exactly what it was he did, but he caused her team, her and Asuka, to lose. And then he got browbeated by Randy Orton in the back. So all in all, it was a very disappointing show for me last night.
I just watched bits and pieces of it, but I did notice that the Nature Boy still styling and profiling on television here in 2021.
Yep.
Jack, while I'm getting everything together, if you will tell everybody a little bit about our T-shirts, and I actually put together something for the shirts while you're doing that. So.
All righty. Yeah, this is our ProWrestlingTees.com. This is our store, Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. Just search that. It'll bring you up. These are the three selections we have at this time. In the future, we're going to be putting up some more stuff, but sizes from small to 6X. We've priced these in the median range on here for $21.99 each, plus shipping. Trying to keep the prices down, still make a few dollars off of it in the process. But go and support us. The money goes towards helping us to upgrade our equipment and do some other things that we have coming up. And we just love you guys when you buy it. And we kind of like you real well if you don't, but would really love you if you would.
All right. Thank you so much, Jack. And let me turn this off. And let's talk right now about Hulk Hogan and Hillbilly Jim. Rodney, getting Hillbilly Jim to the WWF was a tremendous way to get him there. Do you remember exactly what happened to get Hillbilly Jim there?
You have to remind me. I'm sorry. I've
All right. He was sitting at ringside.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's right.
He was sitting at ringside for several shows, I believe, at the Madison Square Garden, I believe is where he was at. And all at once, he jumps in the ring and helps Hulk Hogan. And was that on a Saturday night's main event, Jack?
I think it was. I know it was one of their big shows.
Here's the picture right afterwards. Hulk Hogan doing an interview and gives them his first pair of boots.
Yep.
And by the way, folks, that was not his first pair of boots. It was as Hillbilly Jim, because prior to that, he wrestled in Memphis as some kind of something Harley. He was like a bicycle
Harley Davidson.
Harley Davidson, yes. And that's how he started, and they found him. And, really and truly, he hadn't been wrestling maybe a year. Yep. And he becomes Hillbilly Jim. And, Jack, I believe Hillbilly Jim was probably one of the most colorful and most over characters that WWF had.
It really was. And I'm wondering if that wasn't to the chagrin of Vince, who really hated Southern characters. But it worked. Jim got over. He's not going to be remembered as a great ring technician, but everything he did was good. He connected with the crowd, and he sold tickets. You can't ask for much more than that.
Rodney, your thoughts on Hillbilly Jim?
Yeah, pretty decent. And, of course, he set the stage for one of my favorite, Uncle Elmer. He was one of my favorites. He came in, which was Plowboy Frazier, Giant Frazier, which he was much better as Uncle Elmer than he was Frazier when he was in Georgia for sure.
On our Facebook page, a couple of people said some stuff about him. Steve Bernstein said, I remember watching the build up to this on Madison Square Garden Network. He was in the front row for a couple of weeks and ran in the ring to save Hogan. Steve Turley said, two legends, and they tagged some together. And Michael Wright actually talked about Uncle Elmer in this. Tim Hudson said that Hillbilly Jim is a DJ on XM Radio Outlaw Country now. Did
Yeah.
y'all know this?
Yeah, I had heard that. He worked behind the scenes at WWE, and for whatever that production company was that did all their videos for years, he worked there after his career was over with. So he's kept a pretty good career going. He's changed gears, but he's still out there.
Well, Kenneth, I'm not even going to say the guy's last name. I don't know if I can get this right, but he said, remember his Uncle Elmer, a grotesquely obese old man who could barely even move. Now, is that very nice to say, Rodney?
Well, no, it's not, but it was very accurate.
He said he was 450 pounds. I think that was overstating his weight, but
he would hit the ropes and be way out into first, second, third row, and then he was able to go back.
Yep.
Luckily, but not able to turn the ring over though. That would have been deadly.
Ropes and steel cables are two different things, and you go a lot farther when you're a big old boy. I can tell you.
You know, it's funny because Uncle Elmer was really, honestly, he was over in the WWF. Even though people talk about him, he was over there. Did he get married on?
Yes, he did.
On television.
Yeah.
Maybe that was another one of those main event shows.
I think it was.
You know, where he got married, and because there for a while they had Cousin Junior as well, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was the guy that took the beating, so it was good.
And what was his song? Don't go messing with a country boy.
That's right.
Hillbilly Jim. All right, before we get off and talk about something else, we got to talk about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, a lot of people will say, somebody on here said he was an egomaniac. But honestly, the people who worked with him at the time, now they might say it now, but the people that worked with him at the time never said he was ever an egomaniac during that time. Have either one of y'all ever heard anyone say that during that time period?
No, he was the top guy. He knew he was the top guy, and anybody that attached to him in any way got a huge push off of that. I don't really, I have heard about people say Hogan didn't, give the brush or give the rub to anybody, but he tried with Ultimate Warrior, who was completely incapable of carrying forth with that. And later on, Hogan did try to build people up. So I don't know. You hear those stories, but I don't really see where there's a lot of validity to that.
Rodney, what do you think? Hulk Hogan.
I never, we never heard anything bad. What we heard is that Hogan took time, went to every person on the card, shook their hand, and thanked him for being there. That's what I heard. That's what we heard where we were at, because we thought, well, he might be an egomaniac, but then when we asked those questions, we found out differently.
Yeah, I never heard anybody say anything about Hulk Hogan, but Hulk Hogan has to be the most recognizable wrestling name in pro wrestling. If you talk wrestling still today, people will still say Hulk Hogan over anyone.
Yep.
They will talk about Hulk Hogan. And during this time here, Hulk Hogan was on fire. People can say whatever they want to, but if you never saw Hulk Hogan live in person, you missed something, because when he came out, that whole building was rocking. Yep. And I had the opportunity the first time to see him in Birmingham, Alabama at the Jefferson Civic Center, and I couldn't believe the reaction that he got. Yep. I mean, Rodney, we were there. It
was like a rock. It was like a rock concert.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that we haven't seen that before. We saw that before with the Rock and Roll Express, and we saw that with you can watch Ricky Steamboat in the Carolinas. It was amazing. But yeah, Hogan was a superstar.
Yeah. What, Jack? Any closing comments on Hulk Hogan before we move on?
Now, I just, I got to see him when he was Sterling Golden. He was in Columbus, Georgia. He and Austin Idol actually tagged, had the full matching outfits and everything there for about 3 weeks, and then he left. but he, he was still raw. He was still green then, but boy, what a response he got from that crowd.
Rodney, any closing comments on Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, he was. We saw him as well as Sterling Golden, and everywhere he went as well. He didn't last very long. He was in Knoxville. He didn't last very long there, and of course Georgia, and of course one reason is because Ole didn't like him.
No, Ole. He did not fit what Ole Anderson saw as a professional wrestler, and he didn't for that time period. No, he did not. So, to Ole's defense, he said he would never draw any money, which as Sterling Golden, probably not. But he did reinvent himself, call himself Hulk Hogan, and as Bill Dundee always says, the rest is history. Yeah. Hulk Hogan. Folks, if you're watching this, give us that big thumbs up. I got ink all over my hand if you wonder what's all over my hand. Give us the big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. A lot of good stuff on YouTube. And hit that notification bell, and it'll let you know every time we upload a video. And it is almost every day we upload to YouTube. All right, Rodney, Jack, we got about 61 comments, and let's go to the insiders and see what they've got to say. And we will move all the way to the top and see Glenn Shelton. Glenn Shelton, good evening to you. Richard Hood, good evening to you as well. And by the way, folks, we have a special guest that has just come on with us, and we're going to bring him on in about 9 minutes. And we're going to bring him on in just a moment. He is a up-and-coming singer. And Jack, give a little bit of
a member of wrestling royalty. His Uncle Jack is speaking here. Pat Rose is one of the legends of professional wrestling. His son Camden will be joining us singing his new single. So we're looking forward to that.
All right, we will get to him in about 9 minutes, Camden. So stay with us there. Freddie Rooster Roper wearing his Pro Wrestling Inside and Out t-shirt. Hey, guys, great to be here tonight. Glenn Allen said, hello, folks. David Bean, good afternoon, y'all. And Reggie Cassidy, good evening. Mickey Mayfield says, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you. Dr. Philbo Grice, good evening, distinguished gentlemen and professors from Dothan, Alabama. Been there many times. Dennis Cook is with us in the house from upstate New York.
All right.
Michael Barr, how you doing, sir? James William Lawrence III, hello, gentlemen. Hello to you. Joel Bateman is with us. Hello to you. Kevin Penley, hey, guys. How long did Blackjack and Flair own Southeastern and Knoxville? I think about 10 minutes, didn't they?
Yes, about 10 minutes, about it.
I don't think they owned it long.
Like 3 months. I mean, it wasn't long at all.
Mimi Barboza. Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Sorry, I'm late. Jack, go ahead and put that down there. Mimi's late. $50 fine.
Well, I give her the credit because she actually came in like 2 minutes after we started.
Well, there you go. But now Grizzly Smith would still fine you even if you were 2 minutes late. So we'll just go ahead and then what we'll do, we'll bonus you afterwards, and that way you don't have to worry about that $50 fine. Glenn Allen said after the plane crash. Yes, Ric Flair after the. Rodney Malcolm, Flair was way over. Rip Hawk, very instrumental in helping Ric Flair. Yes. Michael Barr, Ric Flair was a great talented wrestler, was in figure 4 leg lock, the only one used by him when he was world champion. And he said that was Starrcade 83, Jack.
Yeah.
Joel Bateman thanks Sting and Flair was some of Flair's best matches. Richard Hood, guys, didn't GCW give Savannah, Georgia to Crockett Promotions back in the day? Yes, they did. I think it must have been too far away from them or something.
It was a pretty good drive.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of controversy there. There was a situation where the wrestlers were given plane tickets, and then they would take the plane tickets and cash them in, and then drive. And then Jim Barnett was sitting on the airplane going to Savannah, looked around the airplane and saw nobody was there. So when he did, he cut out all of the airplane tickets.
Yeah, there's a good.
There's one problem after another over that.
Kevin Penley said, I saw these Russell Oxbaker live. Saw Flair versus Armstrong, but Harley Race was more of a better champion than both. Harley was a good champion. Too bad WWE has a lot of the Mid-Atlantic footage. Paul Ante is with us. Flair stripped his clothes from Valentine down to his peak undies. This was in an interview with Davey. I always call him Davy Crockett. I don't know why I call him Davy Crockett every time.
Same reason that he calls Buddy Landell Buddy Lindell.
This is true. Now, he does a good job on the upcoming thing that we're going to be doing on the supporter stuff that we're going to do later on tonight. He does a better job on calling him Buddy Landell coming up soon.
He does, but he's now more coherent about Iron Anderson.
That's right.
Freddie Ruster said, I saw Rick Russell many times at the Omni in Atlanta. Great matches. Yes, he did have some great matches. Rodney, Malcolm, Blackjack Mulligan, John Studd. Feud was epic. Michael Barr, Ric Flair wrestled so many talented wrestlers. Yes, he did. There was no doubt about that. Joe says Flair and Kurt Hennig. They did have some great matches.
Yeah,
they did. Victor Nash. Hello, guys. Happy 2021. Same to you, Victor. And thank you so much for being one of our supporters. We certainly do appreciate it. Mickey Mayfield. First time I ever saw Mulligan was at the Savannah Civic Center. He was defending the North American Championship against Paul Jones. He looked like a giant from where I was sitting. That was 76 or 77. Well, he was a big old guy, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the matches that I remember Dad talked about was Blackjack Mulligan and Andre. And this is where Andre actually went up for a flying head scissors on Blackjack Mulligan. He said that was the darndest thing he had ever seen between Blackjack and Andre.
Hello, gentlemen. Great work. Thank you so much, Doug. We certainly do appreciate it. Glenn Shelton over there watching us on YouTube. Great group in the Mid-Atlantic. They were good. Michael Barr said really nice T-shirts. Thank you so much, Michael. Pat Rose wants to know where the 6XL are for the shirts.
They're on there.
Well, Pat, we'll talk to you about that when we're talking to Camden. We might be able to
get you a 5X. I'll stretch it out for you.
Rodney Malcolm said, Pat Rose, a really big man. That was pretty mean of you, Rodney, for saying such things like that. Mark Harold said, great show, guys. Keep up the good work and programs. Thank you so much. Pat Rose said, got you, Rodney. Harley Davidson. Like that better than Hillbilly Jim. Glenn Allen Shelton said, then come the Plowboy. Also, Kamala too, by the way, Uncle Elmer.
Kamala too, that's right.
Yeah, that was a great gimmick. Pat Rose said, Elmer had a great leg drop.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Frederick said he got married on Saturday night's main event. Uncle Elmer got married on Saturday night's main event. Hillbilly Jim got good road trade at Memphis with Roger Smith, a.k.a. Dirty Rose, a.k.a. Assassin 2 with Jody Hamilton at some time. Boy, Roger Smith was a great wrestler.
Yep.
Great.
He knew what he was doing. Rodney said Hulk Hogan was and still is overrated. I don't think he was overrated. He drew a lot of money.
It's hard to be overrated when you draw millions of dollars.
Hulk Hogan, not the best wrestler. No, he wasn't the best wrestler. There's no doubt.
He was better than he's given credit for, though. Look up stuff from him in Japan, and you'll see a huge difference.
This is true. Victor Nash said Goldberg was on Raw last night.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Next question.
Paul Ante, when Elmer and his bride, Tias Ventura, said that it was like two carp going after a piece of popcorn.
Yeah.
People made money with Hogan. Richard Hood. Mickey Mayfield said, always looked like real heat between Hogan and Don Morocco. Michael Barr, where did Hulk Hogan actually get his first start wrestling? That would be in Florida. He actually the Briscoes, Jack and Jerry Briscoe, who found Hulk Hogan at a bar they hung out with where he was singing in a band. Well, he could have just been playing the instrument in the band. I'm not for sure he was singing. Glenn Allen Shelton never liked Hogan before in Georgia. AWF, first time, just never liked him. Let's see, because we're gonna get over here. Stuart Kemp. Saw Hogan live first time versus Sergeant Slaughter in 1991. Indeed, he was huge reaction. Agreed, he wasn't a professional wrestler. He was a professional entertainer. Yep. One of Vito's Vince deal. David Bean asked, question for Jack, who's the smoothest worker he ever worked?
Brad Armstrong.
Alan Campbell. Yes, sir. Like Telbo Campbell, I'm ready. And so now let's see. Let's go to one other person. S.Y. Great show, guys. For a fan who watched Southeastern Championship Wrestling and dove in with rabbit ears until he got cable and could watch GCW around 1981. Yes, I'm old. And Mike, what's up, guys? So we're doing good. And he said probably been Imperial Lounge in Tampa, whatever that means. You talking about Hogan playing the yeah. It could have been. Jack and Joe Briscoe also gave him his first pair of boots. He's kind of like he gave Hillbilly Jim boots. Jack and Joe Briscoe gave him then and told him he's going to wrestle next week. So that happened. Flair's Debo, one of the best matches ever in NWA. All right, guys, are you ready to bring in Camden Smith? Camden, get ready. We're going to bring you on. And how you doing, Camden?
There he is. Good, man. How are you doing?
We are doing good. Man, we have listened to your song. This song is spectacular. Now, is Pat in the room with you over there?
He is. He's over here.
Is he the manager of Camden Smith?
Well, I mean, I'm the roadie.
So now it's Pat, the roadie Rose. So that's a pretty good gimmick for Pat. So let me ask you this question. We're going to play this. We're going to play your song in just a minute. You wrote this song, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, how did you, like, what came up? Look, I'm going to write this song today. I don't want to. How did this all come about?
Well, I wrote about a certain individual I used to go to school with, right? Okay. So I had a dream, actually. It was just kind of funny. I had a dream, and I woke up, and it was like a school night, you know what I'm saying? So it's about 1 a.m, and I just, got my phone, went on the little notes app that we have, and typed it out, and I went to school the next day, and there's a little guitar in the music room, and I went in like a little room by myself and kind of did a little voice recording on my phone, and then went home and cleaned it up. But the song for me took about 5 minutes to write. So,
wow,
inspired, no doubt.
It's a very good song. By the way, you can get this. We purchased it. Me and my wife purchased it from Amazon Music. Jack, where did you purchase your?
I got it off Apple iTunes.
It's only 99 cents. Very, very reasonable. So people get out there, and we're going to play this for you. It is a really good song. How old are you, Camden?
I'm 15 years old, and actually, I just got back from a buddy of mine's house after a workout, and we were sitting there, and he has a little like an Alexa type device where you could say, "Hey Alexa," and play so and so, and we said play my song, and it came on. So
wow,
it was weird, most definitely hearing your own name, So.
Okay, folks, if you have not heard this song, you are going to enjoy it. So let me turn this on and let you hear the song. And remember, 15 years old, he wrote this song, he sung the song, and I think you'll really enjoy this song. So let's play it right now.
Every night I see your smile in my mind. I know that sight's gonna fade over time. Hearing your voice in my head. After a while I feel like I'd be better off dead. You got this Georgia boy's heart all tore up. Since you left that night, my heart's been in a rush. I can't get loose. All I see is you. I
can't believe you're gone. I don't know what I did wrong. I can't believe it's true. I know you'll find somebody new. I'm gonna leave right now because I don't wanna miss you. How are you gonna say that you're...
We have a problem here.
Well, on technical difficulty.
Let's try that one more time and pick it up.
Awesome.
What we got. Well, if it lets us.
Maybe the YouTube got you.
For some reason, it just decided it did not want to play any longer.
Well, that gives you a great taste of
Yes,
what
it
that
does.
song is.
Now, in the background, did I hear Pat? Is he doing backup on that? Camden, Camden's off. Camden, was your father? Was he doing background? I think he was doing background on that, wasn't he? Was he background vocalist on that?
My audio is having some difficulties right now, so I'm kind of unable to hear you guys.
All right, can you hear us
like
now?
stuttering,
This is what you call live streaming.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. Can you hear us now?
Dad was doing background. Heck no.
I'm just wondering if he did. I thought I heard him back there.
By the way, folks, at least you got to hear part of the song before we got cut off for whatever reason.
Now, where did you record this song?
I recorded it at Dead Bird Music in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and while I'm telling you that, I'm going to tell you who I played on it. So, my uncle Johnny Smith, who was the president of Songbirds Guitar Museum, which is like a multi-million-dollar establishment in Chattanooga. It's since closed due to COVID, but he played drums on it, and he's played for guys like Travis Tritt, Kenny Chesney, and all that. And the background vocals is done by Amber Carrington, who was on The Voice. I don't know what season, but I do know that she finished top 3 in her season. And her husband, Dran Lewis, he, award-winning producer. He played bass on it and basically all stringed instruments. And on the guitar solo, Josh Gramling of a band called Radio Romance from Nashville, Tennessee played on it. So we got some pretty heavy players on it. So
sounded awesome. Who was the producer?
Dran Michael Lewis.
He's the one that he organized. I mean, he did it all together.
Yes, sir. And we sent it up to Nashville and it got some love on it, and with like auto tune and all that. So the lady that was singing with you in that on the chorus there, that was Amber. Amber Carrington, yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome. It was beautiful, absolutely beautifully produced.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's a very good song, and you can get it at Amazon Music, and I guess any place that sells music, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any and all platforms. We don't have it in physical copies, but you can look it up on YouTube, on Google, anything.
So you have a full video as well?
No, that is in the works. So
excuse us. Now tell us who's producing that.
I have some friends that we're kind of talking about doing it right now. So nothing is really like set in stone yet. So
will you do it in Chattanooga?
Chattanooga and Trenton, where I live and stuff. So
yeah, awesome. It's
cool.
Awesome, and it's amazing, absolutely amazing, and inspired. 5 minutes to write music, lyrics, the whole 9 yards. 5 minutes.
The music I figured out the next day at school, but the lyrics 5 minutes. Yes, sir.
Wow.
By the way, Camden Michael Bars said, "Hello, Camden."
What's going on, Michael?
Dio Flippo said, "Kid is good."
Thank you.
Awesome.
S. White, that was a great song. You have a future in music, son.
Thank you, man.
Rodney, Glenn Allen Shelton, kid is good, great future. Rodney Malcolm, very good, what I've heard so far. And you could have heard more of it, but we got cut off for some reason.
It's probably YouTube and Amazon fighting again.
It probably Probably true. Great song by Richard Hood.
Thank you.
Mickey Mayfield said, "Good song, Camden." Michael Barr asked, "Do you plan on making some other songs, or maybe an album in the future?"
Michael, along with new songs and an album and kind of an EP, which is like a shorter version of an album, and a lot of things are in the works right now. So I do have some new material coming out that I've been writing the past few weeks, and we got some pretty interesting songs coming out in the future for y'all. So
Wow,
that'll be cool.
Now, I will give you a little insight that Camden had great thoughts of being a professional wrestler till he saw me and his dad walk around, and I think he's changed his mind.
No, man, oh yeah, kayfabe is very much alive at my shows, at least. Yeah.
Our good friend and t-shirt wearer, Freddie Rooster Roper. That's awesome, Camden.
Thanks, man.
And let's see, there is somebody else, Mike. I always get his name. Well, how do we figure that?
Wallerson.
That's right.
That was pretty good. You have a bright future ahead of you. Good job. Keep it going.
Thank you, man.
And Richard Lee Morgan said, "Good song. Keep up the work. Never stop."
So what are some of the, we heard this one? What are you got the other ones in the works? What do you got coming up?
I wrote a song the other day called "Shooting Up a Prayer," and it's talking about kind of the troubles of addiction and stuff like that. So you have that. Then we have kind of some more rock and stuff in that we're working on right now. So we got some cool songs. I have other originals as well, but I don't want to miss these on the menu for now, I guess. So.
That's right. I understand. So once all of this disease stuff gets over, we're planning a tour.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We've got 2020. Even though COVID sucks, we can all vouch for that. But
there's another song. COVID sucks. There you go.
Yeah, right. So we've been on the road heavy, playing up Tennessee, North Georgia, and stuff like that. So 2020 has been a big year, but 2021 is going to be bigger. I feel like so. It's going to be cool, man.
Yeah, I think 2021 is going to be good for all of us. Jack, any questions for Camden?
No, I just want to point out now, son, me and your dad are going to Texas in May for the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame ceremonies. Well, you need to ride with us so you can play the whole time there or not. We come up with some good lyrics every now and then.
I'd love to go to Texas. That's awesome, man. Heck yeah.
Let's see. Mickey Mayfield said, "Reminds me of a Brantley Gilbert."
I appreciate it.
Okay.
I would like to tell you I know who Brantley Gilbert is, but I don't.
He's good.
He is good.
I do not listen to any music anymore. As I've gotten older, I do not listen to any music. I watch YouTube all the time.
So. Everything, man. Funk's kind of where I'm at, which is surprising, but I like funk. Funk's pretty good.
So when you think of a song, do you know what genre it's going to be?
Yeah, so I like to think of myself as a country artist, but I never really have agreed with like putting yourself in a corner of this is country, this is rock, whatever. I mean, I put all kinds of influences on it. You know what I'm saying? So you could take the same song and do it different ways, like the same. Yeah. You can sing lyrics, and you could do it as a rock song or blues. Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. I'm just in awe of talent like yours. Just amazing gift, God's gift. That's right. Inspired, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing to see people do like 5 minutes writing a song, and you do exactly how it went, right in your mind. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So did you sing it and then you put the music behind it? Is that how you did it first? I kind of had a little melody going in my mind, and I was like, and then after I got the chords down and went home and kind of dressed it up a little bit, I got it, made some kind of pronunciation adjustments. I turned out what it is today. So, yeah, man.
Camden, Michael Barr said, Camden, what inspired you to become a singer?
That's a good question. So, I broke in the music business by being a drummer. I play drums. There's 4 drummers in my family, including myself, and I wasn't really working as much as I want to. I've always been taught to have a really strong work ethic, and the amount of shows I was working, I wasn't. It didn't match my hunger. You know what I'm saying? So I had to find something else to create opportunities for myself. So, and we had a little talent show going on at school. So I was like, hey, no kid's gonna know, technicality wise what's going on behind a drum kit. So I'm like, I kind of knew how to play guitar. So I was like, well, why don't I just lock myself in a dark room for a couple hours and learn until I learn how to sing. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of practice. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, what really inspired me is just change of heart, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's really awesome. I feel like so. That's like, yeah, and me and Dad's talked before. It's like a wrestling match. You know what I'm saying? Telling a story. Entertaining, bring him up, bring him down, and all that, and it kind of amazes me like how similar the music business and the wrestling business is. You get what I'm saying? But that's what inspired me to become a singer. It's just
being able to make that emotional connection with your audience. Most important.
I think Richard Hood wants you to do an old school R&B song.
There you go.
Maybe, man. Maybe.
Let's see. Kevin asked, who does Camden listen to from rock world to country?
Well, when it comes to rock, I like a lot of 80s rock. So like Guns N' Roses and Alice Cooper, Bob Seger, all those guys in country. I both safest to guys nowadays like Aldean and Coetzel, who's from Jason Aldean, who's from Nashville, and Coetzel, who's from Tennessee, Texas. I listen to a lot of Texas guys. So
that fits in with the Texas trip. I like it.
Greg Hickey said, "Do Freebird."
I'm scared to do Leonard Skinner songs because if you don't play that note for note,
Yeah, that crowd could turn vicious real quick.
Yeah,
Victor, I think we answered the question. Camden, had you ever thought of becoming a wrestler?
Victor, I have, and I realize it's in both worlds of music and wrestling. It's big shoes to fill. Like my uncle Johnny Smith, who what a great legacy has left, and so has Dad in the wrestling business. And as far as wrestling is concerned, I've made the decision myself to just let it be and respect it for what it is, and just be grateful that it happened. You know what I'm saying? So
I will let y'all in that he does own the last pair of Jack Lord wrestling boots.
True. There's somewhere. Actually, I went to a show dressed up as Terry Gordy one time, and I showed up in soundcheck with the trunks and the vest and the knee pads and the boots and everything. It was so funny. It was hilarious.
We need to see pictures. We need pictures.
Well, I do. I'll send them to you. Y'all can't post them now. So.
Richard Hood wanted to ask, do you like Jimi Hendrix?
Love Jimi Hendrix. One of the greatest guitar players that's ever lived, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, guys, we're running out of time. Camden, thank you so much
Awesome,
for
Cat.
being a part of it. Like I said, go to Amazon Music, buy that song. You only got to hear a piece of it, so get over there and buy that song and support Camden. Support him in what he's doing. And Michael Barr said, we'll leave it with this. God bless you, Camden, and hope you go far in life with your singing. You have the talent for sure.
Thanks,
and you certainly do,
And
Camden.
we're waiting
Thank
for
you so
Pat
much.
Rose to do his solo as well.
Yeah.
and tell Pat the roadie, at least you got somebody to put up all your gear when you go on tour.
Throw your bags in.
Yeah.
Thank you, Camden. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Rodney. And thank you, all the insiders. We certainly appreciate you being a part of our show each and every week. And until next week, Camden, thank you. Thank you, Jack. And until next week, we'll see you on the next installment of Pro Wrestling Inside and Out Live.